Hello everyone and welcome back to Valorant Challenges Oceania Stage 3 group stage. It's day 2. It was a lot of drama yesterday with the games that went on. We saw the likes of JJH losing against a relatively new team. Actually, no, was it JJH? Was it? I forget. It was either JJH or, actually, yeah, I think it was. JJH lost against Akai Underworld, which was a relatively unknown team. But anyways, let's go on and talk about the game that we're going to be seeing today. We are going to be playing FocusGG versus BOBO, two of the best teams in our region. So it's going to be a super intense game, that's for sure. Let's have a look at the map veto, see where we are going today. We're going to be starting off on Ascent. It's going to be the map pick of BOBO, and of course, then going into Sunset. Interesting that we're seeing Sunset again, honestly. You know, it's a map that wasn't played a ton in Oceania over in Stage 2, but it looks like a few of the teams are starting to get back into it, noticing that that's a sort of weak point in the Oceanic region. So I think a lot of teams have been putting a lot of prep into Sunset. And then if we need to, we will be going back to Pearl, one of the new maps. Well, I guess it's not new, but one of the maps that is just newly entered back into the map rotation. So honestly, I would love to see a 3-mapper today. But anyways, it looks like the players are all ready. So we're going to start the lobby and we're going to be getting straight into things. So I believe they are loading in now. Let's have a look at the map select. So we're gonna, like I said, gonna be starting over on Ascent, and of course we have to talk about Doctor. When you think of Neon and Oceania, Doctor is the player that comes to mind, and of course it's gonna be Focus. We're going to be, of course, having Doctor on that Neon. It's a role that he excels at, so fair enough. Keep him on the Neon, and yeah, they're going to be going up against, you know, the default champ, of course, swapping out KJ for Cypher. In fact, both teams going to be swapping out Killjoy for Cypher. So that's certainly an interesting decision there. Either way, looks like we have loaded in, so we're going to go straight on over to the game. Where hopefully we've got the new overlay that we've put together here in Oceania that is hopefully going to be working. We'll have to see how it goes. And yeah, honestly, I cannot wait. It should be a very fun day of Valorant ahead of us.
Go, go, go! I'm out of here.
So like I said, it's going to be Focus starting on the defense. You can see Ace already deciding to push on forward. Very aggressive here as Reyna spots out Nuz. Nuz, he's going to send out a flash, and Ace can't quite find the shot, and off the back of that, the attack is going to rotate maybe towards mid. I think they wanted to go towards B if Mike found that opening, but Myth has taken him out. So now a pause in the round. The attack will regroup once again and head on back towards the A site. It's relatively empty. There is, of course, BOBO on the Cypher, very close by entry. However, no trips to be seen. Hawk and Noz, they can make their way onto the site. Hopefully, without too many troubles here. BOBO's just going to send some bullets through that dark cover, but not going to be able to find too much, although he might want to slip under that wall, potentially try and find the person who opened the door, and he has Muzz. Runs directly into the crosshair. Doctor trying to slide out, but Pork takes him down, leaving just Noz in a 1v2. He's found the first. BOBO drops, and he's got to fight Myth now. He knows where he is, and Myth, he's retreating, he's reloading his gun, going back into heaven. Oh, it's messy, but Myth, he's the one who ends up finishing it for the team of Focus. They will grab the pistol round here on Ascent. What a start to the game. Things coming down to the wire, as it's definitely worth pointing out that, like I said, these are two teams that are going to be extremely closely matched. Honestly, even though it's Seed 3 versus Seed 8, honestly, the whole seeding system at the moment, I'm pretty sure it's based off of when the teams qualified into stage 3. Obviously, the top 4 teams of Stage 1, they were the ones that... Oh, not Stage 1, sorry, Stage 2. They came in as the first 4 seeds, and then the next 4 came from the next season of Premier, which is where BOBO came in. But of course, BOBO, they were a very, very competitive team over in Stage 3. By all means, definitely up there. I believe they came 5th or 6th in the Stage 3 playoffs, but definitely a team that can compete against Focus here. But definitely worth saying that Focus, especially with the addition of Doctor, has had a considerable upgrade in firepower.
Gotta go.
Doctor, talk about him. He's going to be looking to fight over an A main. Okay, that's a stinger delivered to the eco round of Focus. That's maybe got to question that decision there. So they will fall back. BOBO. He's got his setup still over towards A, so even with Doctor going down, there's still definitely enough here to potentially hold on to the site, although with that well-placed recon bolt, it's just going to fall back into heaven. Rejoined with his team. Outlaw in the hands of Vizsla. I don't think that's going to find anyone just yet. Myth and BOBO, they're the ones who are going to be fighting here. Exhaust, though, has found 2 with the Sheriff. Can definitely deal some damage. We know a lot of these players are so sharp. Exhaust, definitely. One of the duelists that comes to mind is a player that can definitely turn around these eco rounds. And it looks like it's very, very possible now. BOBO down in numbers. Sorry, I mean, yeah, Focus. Never mind. They're going to be the ones fighting back into this. And, well, they've done it. They've evened up. And I am looking at the overlay now, and I think it is actually the wrong way around. So, hopefully we can get that fixed. We'll have to see. I know... Yeah, it's focus on the defense. I'm not too sure why it's... Not too sure why it's that way around. I'm not too sure if there's much I can do to fix that, unfortunately. So, we might just have to be, I will just keep reminding you guys that it is the other way around. It is focus on the defense. Apologies for that overlay not quite being correct. Hopefully, we can get that sorted out. Probably during the next map. For now, looking into this round. It's a bit of an odd buy for Focus. You can see Myth, he's got himself an Odin. But whether that will be enough to convert off the back of the rest of the weapons on the side of Focus is another question. Of course, a lot of them very, very low on HP. Have to see
My eyes are down.
what can be done. Just quickly go see if I can fix this overlay problem. There we go. There we go, it's fixed.
30 seconds left.
We may potentially have some problems later on. It may not swap at halftime, but anyways, focusing back in on the game. BOBO have found their way onto the site, and to be fair, they were up against lower weaponry, so this round was never favored for them, that's for sure. As Vizsla, not too sure if the shorty's quite the weapon you want in a 1v4 against a bunch of rifles, so this is almost certainly going to be going the way of BOBO. As yeah, Exhaust gonna swing out. 4K on the round, like I said, very, very formidable player. I remember the first time I watched him, I just sort of wasn't told about how good he was. And I ended up missing a bunch of his kills, as it's like, I didn't realize he would be the one getting, you know, the lion's share of them. But hey, at least we know that now. Gonna keep our eyes on Exhaust, see how he does, of course, against, you know, Ace and Doctor, the 2 duelists on the side of Focus. And it's, you know, I haven't really even pointed out that much yet, but Focus, they're playing a Neon Rainer on Ascent. So very, very off-meta pick here. Ace going to be caught out in the open as Exhaust is the one flying on in. Vizsla and Doctor, though, side by side, they're going to be trying to hold down the site as best they can, and they've done exactly that. Focus. They found themselves a way back into this. They fumbled their anti-eco round. Now, if they can look to tie this up, they will be, you know, hopefully in a spot where they can recover economically. And, of course, score-wise.
Shadows traveling.
You know, at the moment, 4 versus 2. We should be seeing exactly that happening now. Dart gonna be sent out. Vizsla, he's still waiting! And he sprays them down. The dart was not enough to clear him. As, well, it will be, of course, Focus. Tying up the score. Let's have a look at what just happened. As I mean, Vizsla, that was a great spray transfer there. Quick shot over on towards that dart, and then, yeah. Really, really well controlled.
Cover going out.
So now, going into round 5. Doctor has been playing very, very aggressively here in A main. It's been a mixed bag of success, but right now, doesn't look like he's going to have too much to contest with. Although, as I say that, Pork is just TP'd past the one-way. Maybe looking to cause a bit of pressure here. Dark cover sent out in their faces. We look to the rest of BOBO. They are exploring up towards B, but look at this. Look at the spike. It's still all the way in their spawn. They are just exploring extremely deep here. Likely going to leave Exhaust behind, if I was to guess. Look back to mid and, well, Moz has already fallen, and now they're going to send out the null command. Do they know that the spike isn't anywhere? They don't have the spike. You can't be doing an execute when you don't have the spike, surely. But they're sending it anyway. Bonobo fighting on his own. Maybe a little bit unwise there. Equal for Vizsla. Takes out Mike at mid. Exhaust, though, on the luck. He's finally managed to convert that. And now, finally, Exhaust is going to make his way over to the B site. But Vizsla, he's spent from the shadows. He's TP'd over. Now he's just waiting for his team to bring him the spike. This flank, it's coming in thick and fast. Doctor manages to slide in. Unfortunately, can't find the kill. And it's all left to Pork. Vizsla having found Exhaust on the site. So this would be a 1v2 for Pork up against Ace. Takes the swing, gets a headshot, but it's through the boxes. And so it will be Ace who will put another round on the board for Focused. As, yeah, this is getting about as close as it can be, and I think potentially Ace looking to go and pick up an operator? Or what's he doing? Getting a different skin? Who knows at this point, but, we'll have more than enough time to defuse that spike. As, yeah, that was wonderfully played there. I mean, you gotta give credit to Vizsla, having spent from the shadows and then locking down that site. It is, you know, that's probably what won in the round, honestly. But, I mean, hey, for the side of BOBO, it was definitely a very interesting round using that KO ultimate over towards A when the spike was clearly left in spawn with a plan to eventually take it over towards B. And, you know, it could have worked out, but unfortunately just some of those fights, especially around mid, didn't go their way. So now we look to this round. Guns online across the board. So this one is going to be an important swing round, especially for BOBO, who will likely be going down to an eco round if they lose this. That's not a great start. A 1-for-1, though. Exhaust managing to get a trade. That's the best that they can hope for here. It's just like the last round. They are happy to play across the map, just leaving the spike not in a committed spot at all.
Camera taken out.
Clearly, they do have some form of round plan, whether it is sending Exhaust up mid again, leaving him behind as they did in the last round, and potentially having that option to pivot either way. But if you don't have the spike, it's a little bit harder to make those split-second decisions, as it is positioned over towards the B half of the map. The chip damage through, and that dart is perfect. Myth managing to use that Odin, put it to good use. Off the back of it, Bonobo finding exhaust at mid, and this round is going terribly wrong for Bobo.
30 seconds left.
Oz now in tree, waiting for anyone to swing out. He's found Vizsla, actually, the player who's left behind in a main, and now he's left to duel with Doctor. Doctor, sure, he will win that any day of the week. Now, Doctor and Myth against Pork, 1v2. Like I said, this is an important one for Pork to win if he wants to keep his team competitive here. They will be going down to an eco round off the back of a loss. So a lot to do, but Doctor, the movement is too much. Oh no. That is some neon abuse right there if I have ever seen it. That's gotta feel bad for Pork, man. When Doctor's moving on you like that, I mean, what can you do except just hope and pray, really, that a stray Vandal shot will find its way to his head. Very, very unlucky there. But I mean, hey, I mean, Doctor, we gotta talk about him, right? He's one of very few players in OCE that consistently climbs up the ranked leaderboards here in the APAC region, and he's definitely one of the hot prospects that has been coming up recently, and now on a team like Focus that has that, you know, veteran core from our region, can definitely now deal some damage and potentially look to even be one of those teams that we talk about that could represent OCE on a global stage, especially alongside players like Vizsla and Myth. They're doing so much here. Doctor popping the overdrive. Once again, they really are just mowing down Bobo here, who actually did, I believe, invest some amount of money into this. I know at least you can look at Noz. He got himself a Vandal and Light Shields. Maybe got to question that decision when it looks like some of the rest of the team did put in an eco. So now going into this next round, what's the buy even going to look like? I mean, they should be on max loss bonus at this point. They have lost 4 rounds in a row, but okay, they will be able to put some form of buy together, but it's certainly looking shaky. And now we look at Vizsla. He's buying an operator. Myth, of course, is going to be having that Odin, and yeah, definitely a lot to try and go up against, and worth talking about the ults as well. Bonomo and Ace, of course, have theirs, but those maybe not considered the most powerful ults in the game, of course. Bobo, they will have some of their own. Exhaust going to find the opener and immediately take some more space over towards mid. Ace, though, has found Pork in tree. Going to fall back, pop the Empress. As Focus, they certainly know where the players of Bobo are. They know that Bobo have been going towards mid very, very consistently here. You can see how cautious they're being. Bonobo not giving anything away, aware that there could be players pushed up. So well played. Waiting for Doctor, making sure that they go together. But will they be ready for Exos? This is such a crazy off angle, but Doctor, he makes the shot. And once again, Bobo now on the back foot, 3 versus 4. They've crept forward on towards this B site, though. I don't know if Myth is quite aware. He will be now, with that neural theft being sent in. His position, though, it's known, and Noz manages to spam him through the wall. But still an uphill battle ahead. They should be able to get this spike planted. But all the players of Focus so close and ready to just collapse onto the site at a moment's notice. You can already see Ace and Doctor. They're going to be sending it on in, and Doctor, he'll be the one to finish it, of course. Excellent retake from Focus. They secured the numbers advantage early on and held on to it for the rest of the round. Really, really well disciplined play. And of course, you got to talk about Doctor. Like I said, that was quite the off angle that Exhaust was holding, but still, it doesn't matter for Doctor. Of course, finishes things off in style. Wouldn't have it any other way. So now Focus, they're starting to draw ahead, and maybe start questioning, maybe should a timeout be coming out for for BOBO at some point. Have to wait and see. Exhaust. Once again, he's been doing a lot here for BOBO. 11 and 6. So it looks like potentially for BOBO, they just want to go for a set play. Noz has the null command. They can just ult and come in towards this A site, but Focus have read this so well. They already have 4 players here, and Vizsla has found the opener in a second through the smoke. Oh, it's been shut down at the doorstep. Noz can't do anything. Doctor has his number, and Focus will go up to a 5-round lead. This is, I mean, incredible work from Focus, as for some reason they have just called a timeout. They are up in rounds, but for some reason the coach, I guess, wanting to keep the ship as spick and span as possible, and gonna be calling a timeout, which honestly I feel like could be a good thing for BOBO. I mean, you know, I feel like I surely, right, they should be appreciating this timeout. They have a chance to talk about what they could do differently. It's definitely time that has been gifted to them by the Focus coach. But yeah, who knows? Maybe Focus are just gonna come in and dominate even harder off the back of it. You know, you never know. We'll have to wait and see what the decision is. So the round returns. See what the play is.
Get out of my way.
Paranoia gonna be sent out, and Exhaust is gonna be making his way on in. Knives not quite finding their mark. Ace, though, he's done an excellent job spraying them down, as well as Myth. Okay. That was a way to win a round. Focus off the back of that timeout. Just completely shut down that fast B hit. I mean, what can you say when Ace is hitting shots like that and Myth is just holding down Mouse 1 with an Odin? Yeah, there's not much that BOBO can do by the look of things. It's absolutely dominant so far. Now for BOBO, you gotta start putting some rounds on the board. This is your map pick. You wanted to start on Ascent. So they have to start showing us at some point how they plan to make it competitive. Exhaust, unfortunately, missing that entry there. I believe he meant to go up and over, but instead he went up and into the wall. And once again, Myth is going to be stuck, holding down Boathouse. Tactical swing out into the open. He manages to find one before going down, but Bonobo, oh, the back line is just too good. And they just can't kill Myth in time. He causes so much chaos on the side. BOBO just can't deal with him. He's topping the scoreboard and he's absolutely decimating them. They're all looking his direction, and clearly Bonobo was able to capitalize off the back of it.
That goes there.
So yeah,
Here.
yeah, it's definitely looking excellent for Focus. The BOBO, a few concerns. How do you go about this one? Vizsla finding Exhaust with the operator. You don't normally see the Omen being the one with this piece of weaponry, but you know what? He'll do what he pleases. He's been getting the occasional kill here and there. This turns out as Hunter's Fury maybe just had a slight idea of where that might be heading, but I don't think it got any tags. Now Muzz sending out one of his own. Ace gonna be dodging and weaving. Now he's got Doctor by his side, and he just continues hitting these shots. He knows where Pork is, and he's not gonna be stopped anytime soon until Muzz arrives. But Doctor, like I said, was right there with him, as there was no doubt in their mind at all that Focus were gonna be winning that round. I mean, what clean shots here from Ace.
One enemy remaining.
You know, when you got Doctor on your team, it's hard to look like the best player, but, you know, Ace, he is putting up numbers right now, 14 and 7. In fact, even just the entire team of Focus right now is doing an excellent job, honestly. Can't fault them at all. We go into our second half now. This is where BOBO will have to make up this fairly large round deficit. I mean, it's going to be a hard one to bring back, that's for sure. I mean, where do you go from here?
Here.
Already see Focus making their way up on both sides of the map. Spy cam dealt with, and so is the trip. Wasn't so much pressure here is BOBO. He's got Ace with him. He's actually calling for the team to come all the way over here towards the B site. Looks like that will be where the hit ends up. We have 2 players to deal with, no trap wires or anything, just the cyber cage. No problem at all. Ace and Doctor, they're going to be running on in. And Focus, they've found the openers, they've found the site, busted it wide open. Will they be prepared for Exhaust on the flank? That spike has gone down now. But Exhaust, he's arrived. He's found a ton of damage. As well as Myth dashing on in. Does get taken out though. And Doctor and BOBO. Oh, it's not looking good here. 11 to 2. Focus picking up a second pistol round here. And when you look back at the timeline, unfortunately that's not something we have on this overlay, but I'm looking at it on another screen here. And even though Focus, this game started off with Focus winning the pistol round and losing their anti-eco, as well as then the next round. Those were the 2 rounds that BOBO have won. They won a Thrifty and then the next round. And ever since then, Focus have just absolutely beat them into the ground. Even BOBO, the man with a ghost, is able to find Pork, and this is after BOBO have forced up into this round. Doesn't even matter. Now, with Ace and Doctor, Ace has got himself a Vandal, and of course Doctor's got a Stinger. Weapon of choice for many Neons, I would imagine. Even though BOBO have forced up into this round, I feel like it is still likely not going to go their way. Look at that, Doctor absolutely schmoving on them, as always. This is just absolutely insane performance. There's Exhaust, he got an out. Oh, not even, sorry. You know, one thing about this Outlaw skin, I forget what it's called, but I keep calling it Outlaw. It's a Marshall skin. But it looks like an Outlaw because of how thick the barrel is. And of course it came out before the Outlaw. So maybe, I don't know, maybe the skin designers just weren't prepared for the Outlaw to exist. And so they made that skin. And it just looks like an Outlaw. Has anyone else noticed that? I don't know. I'm just like grasping at flies at this point. It's hard to bring up too much at this point other than Focus. They look good, and BOBO, a lot of question marks that still need to be answered. Because yeah, it is certainly not going their way here on Ascent. It's their map pick, like I've said. It's definitely going to be disappointing if they can't at least make this a little bit closer. At this point, you know, you lost the force up, and now you don't have the greatest weaponry up against match point. Sure, it's a 5v5 retake, but how are you going to deal with that? Especially with Ace getting up in your face alongside Vizsla. They finally dealt with one of them, but they've dealt so much damage. Put BOBO at a numbers disadvantage, and I mean, hey, what can you do? Doctor alongside BOBO. I've been saying their names so many times this map. They have really been the stars of the show, and Doctor gonna try and finish things off sliding in, but Muzz will manage to find him. But I think that's just a consolation prize, as that spike has been going for a while now, and I don't think Muzz is gonna have the time required to make this retake successful. You can see Bono's coming around the back. Muzz at this point, he's just gonna pad his stats, put 4 kills on the board, but it will be a bitter 13-2 defeat to swallow for Bobo. As I mean, hey, that was quite the map of Valorant we just saw from Focus. They look absolutely incredible. Now we look to the stats, and well, it's a pretty one-sided story here. You can see only Exhaust managing to even match the performance of any of the Focus players. Everyone else on the side of Bobo just not quite able to put in the same numbers. And I mean, yeah, there's not really much more to say other than that looked incredible for Focus. I thought that potentially Bobo would be a team that could test them a little bit more. And if I look to the standings of what happened yesterday, I believe, you know, Focus, they beat Underworld Uprising. I don't think that was a huge surprise at all. And Bobo, they were able to beat Dreams to Legends. Again, not a huge surprise, but you know, I thought Bobo and I thought Bobo and Focus would be a little bit of a closer match, but so far here on map 1, it is Focus absolutely driving it home that they are one of the top teams in our region. They're ones to keep an eye on. But anyways, we will be going into Sunset next. That will be the next map in the series. But before that, we are going to go to a short intermission. So don't go anywhere. We will be back in a couple of minutes. Slowly creeping out. Dasani here should be making first contact as the wall drops. Snaps onto Regent and another beautiful shot. Catching onto Cats. The third one on the round. 2 players, both of these are low. Both would fall to 1 bullet as Water takes them down. 2 body shots, 2 kills. They choose to contact into him. This could be dangerous, but Doctor's looking the wrong way. Finally turns at just the right moment, takes down August. Now sliding out through the screens with the stinger. The run and gun action, like I said. Look to the side, Shinobu's been taken down, overwhelmed by the utility from Zupa. Downtail though, 2 wonderful shots and a third. Taken down, massive effort on the site by Downtail. Opting to go for the information with the Owl drone instead, but Dasani, 2 crisp shots from the flank. Will convert the round for Zhugang, and it will be 6-6 at the half. Immediately popping the run back, and they're going straight through. And Water should see this. The first found, a second, the spray transfer, peeking around the corner and finding a third. Water finding a ton of value off of the ultimate. Jin's been waiting here, extremely patient, now starting to move, and the timing is bad for him, as Yuji does manage to take him down, peeking forward with the util in hand. You go for a little bit more. This is still a 2v4, so not favored, but actually just ahead of the team. And now the showstopper for Dasani is going to be chasing them back. Won't connect, but now a 2v3. This is a more winnable situation than a 2v5. Also doesn't change that that's where it came from. Rossi over the top, Dasani plucks him out of the sky. Now position known. The grab net comes out, but it connects onto herself. Oh no. A little bit of a whiff from Dynasty, and it's 1v2, but they connect! How on earth have they done that? The spray transfer, Snappy with the Dynasty wins the 1v2. Absolutely insane stuff after the absolute whiffing of that deadlock utility. Should hear the player rotating in from mid, and that should be a free kill. Rossi the first to fall, and now Yuji peeking forward, finds a second off the stun and a third. Really well played from Yuji. He just creeped all the way forward, heard the players. And they were just completely unaware. Second shot, the third, extremely clean. Brutal crossfire to get through. Spada bang. I think he was spotted. The knife might come out. 75 damage, but he comes back in. No way. Sure, he's hungry for that ace. Haven't seen any just yet today, but I mean, he's peeking out. He gets 4, and he gets the ace. Dasani. Wary that there could be someone close. The Nightfall's going to be invested, as well as potentially this lockdown. Doesn't connect on 20, but they didn't realize that Dasani was in the corner. He takes down 3. Dasani is taking his team over the line. Your winners for today will be XG. Hello everyone and welcome back to Valorant Challenges Oceania. It's day 2 of the group stages and we're coming back to Focus versus BOBO, where Focus have had an excellent opener on Ascent. Let's take a look at what just happened. It was 13-2 and it was on BOBO's map pick. So now going into Sunset, where this is where Focus wanted to go. It'll be definitely all eyes on BOBO to see if they can make a recovery in this series, and I definitely hope they can, because I want to go the full distance and see what both teams have to offer on Pearl, the map that's just come back into the map pool. But anyways, we will be going to Sunset for now. I'm going to have a quick look at the teams, make sure that they are all ready. I will say as well, apologies for the overlay mishap that happened at the start of the last game. Hopefully we're going to avoid that happening here, or if it does, we're going to just take a few seconds to fix it up as soon as that map starts. But for now, we will be having a look at the agent select, where, once again, we're seeing Focus very confident with their picks, playing, but by the look of things, a double duelist. Ace going to be swapping over to Raze, and of course, Doctor staying on the Neon. On the other side of things, for BOBO, yeah, I mean, it looks like it's a fairly standard Sunset comp as well. I mean, both these comps, I feel like, have their merits on this map, especially with the recent changes. You know, it's kind of shaken things up a little bit. Certain comps maybe won't work quite as well as they used to. We haven't quite seen too much proof of anything being incredibly better than something like than other picks as far as the meta is concerned. That's definitely going to be developing over the next couple of months. You know, being the tier 1 off season, we don't quite see them as often, seeing what they're up to at the highest levels of the game. But here in Oceania, at least, I mean, if the past performances of the Neons that I've seen so far, it's looking like Neon's definitely playing a fairly big part in the current meta. But anyways, we will be loading in very, very shortly, as the comps have been finalized. And yeah, I mean, we'll have to just see how things go, honestly. It's going to be the side of BOBO starting on defense this time, and of course, Focus. We didn't get to see too much of their attacker half over on Ascent, but we will be seeing it very, very shortly. And okay, we're having a small problem that the lobby has loaded on my laptop, but it is not loading on the stream PC. So that's not a great look. Hopefully this will sort itself out. Let's have a look. Apologies for the delays. Yeah, well, that's not good. Alright, I might throw it to a quick tech pause. We will get this sorted out, and then we will be right back. So don't go anywhere. The players are loaded in. We will just be sorting this out on our end, and then we will be getting straight into things. So we will be right back. Alrighty, everyone. I am so sorry for the delays. We are getting straight back into things. The overlay, I think, might be a little bit broken for the start of this round, but hopefully that will be fixing itself in just a little while. It's going to be starting off with the majority of focus heading up towards the top of mid. There we go. Should be all good to go. Okay, they're going to be heading for a little bit of an interesting pistol round here. Up through mid and now going in towards the B site. I'm aware that the overlay is a little bit broken at the moment. That should be resetting itself at the start of the next round. But for now, going to be in a 5v3 post plant for the side of focus. And they are fighting very far forward here. And try and put a chokehold onto this entrance into the site. And for Pork, this is going to be a very, very tall order to send out that paranoia, but it's not quite enough. Bobo, they are going to have a tough job here trying to claim this pistol round. Of course, Bobo spotted out those last two remaining players. Now is going to send out the wingman to try and start defusing onto that spike. And it's all up to Exos now to try and hold things, but it's going to be so hard, and Ace will claim a third kill with the paint shells of all things. And they will be taking this pistol round focus as alright. Looks like we are not getting certain updates from the game, so that's also not great. See if I can fix this. Worst case scenario, we will just swap over back to the old overlay. It's not ideal, as hopefully it can correct itself. It's unfortunately not doing its job at the moment. Anyway, Doctor sliding in. He's doing a lot of damage here with the Stinger. The rest of his team will absolutely shut down the rest of that half. The rest of that round. Because yeah, it does look like the overlay is not working, so I might have to swap over. Let's have a quick look. Unfortunately, the audio will likely be pretty bad, but I think this is probably necessary. I'm just gonna change this up 1 second. Okay, we're back on the old overlay. I apologize, like I said, the quality will not be as good, but until I can sort out the other one, we will just be using this for now. Because now we look to Bobo, how they can try and put some rounds on the board. This is their gun round, up against the bonus of focus. What can you do here? Focus. A lot of early pressure towards A, and they've left Ace behind, and he's found the first blood in this round. Vandal carried over from the anti-eco. And Focus, they've done an excellent job selling this, and they could have made the decision to rotate over towards B, and they would have found a completely, almost empty site, but instead they're coming back towards A, and this is where all of Bobo is. Exos, he's fully blinded up, but he sticks around where Bonobo will take him out. It's now Pork on site, he's fully stunned up. Mike's trying to hold his ground, but Focus, the onslaught is too good, and even though they go back into the stack of players, it's just not quite good enough. They can't get it done. And so for the bonus round, it will be converted by Focus. And once again, Focus having a good start here. Funnily enough, on Ascent, it actually wasn't the greatest of starts, but they've clearly recovered and made things look very, very convincing. By the look of things here, they want to make sure that this goes for the entire game, that they can really stake their claim as one of the best teams in Oceania for Stage 3, as they are just absolutely obliterating the site right now. It is just against an eco round, but they're doing such a good job. Send out that paranoia. I believe that did connect, but oh, they're too focused on trying to clear that box, and Vizsla, he'll pick up 3, and I think, yeah, Focus, they're really showing why this is their map pick. You know, they clearly picked it for a reason. Just quickly try and make the video a little bit more palatable. There we go. That should have fixed it up a little bit. Alrighty. Going into round 5 now. Doctor looking to start things off early, and he's already found Mike. Just caught out in the open. Immediately removed that Cypher setup. Not going to do anything to hold back this execute, and now Ace and Doctor, they can immediately start fighting in towards the back of sight. But for Bobo, Exhaust, he's found the lurk, so that's now something that they won't have to worry about. But as Exhaust, he's gonna pop this showstopper. That could be a bit of a problem, but he hasn't cleared behind him. Does try and go for that 180, but it's not quite good enough. Wingman gonna be sent out onto the spike though, and Pork, he's trying to stay alive. He's trying to fight on sight. Oz finally gonna get that Wingman off, but Ace is still alive, and he's too low on HP to get anything done. And so finally Bobo will put another round on the board. I gotta see if I can fix this thing. Hopefully I can. Do apologize for the technical issues that we have been experiencing. It's all part of trying to seek out a better broadcast in Oceania. But being a new system, it does come with a few quirks, and at the moment it is unfortunately just not receiving any updates. But anyways, for this round, we'll have to see what can be done. Mike not going to be giving his life away for free this time. This is an important buy round as well. I mean, it might not even be a full buy round, to be honest. I think potentially might be a little bit rough. Nas, though, he's holding his ground, as is the rest of Bobo. Mike gets taken out by Doctor, who will be looking to call this straight back into the hands of Focus with this overdrive. It's all down to him, and he can't quite find the shot. Muzz, too elusive. So Bobo will put another round on the board. Now a timeout immediately from Focus. Very, very proactive. And once again, even though they are ahead in rounds, noticing that, you know, maybe this is the time to try and make sure that they stay in this. And while the timeout is going, I'm just going to restart a few little things just to make sure that hopefully we can get the nice overlay back. Because I am aware that the quality of the stream at the moment, it's being streamed from my laptop at the moment, which is not ideal. So we're just going to restart some of the systems that have been running behind the scenes. And hopefully we can get it back up and running. The timeout will be expiring very, very soon. There we go. Well, the round has, I guess, begun in a sense. The timeout having finished.
Snuff them out. Cover going out.
So La's going to be using the Hunter's Fury, looking for anyone out of place, and he's found a tag. The aggression in A main, rewarding Exhaust with the first blood in this round. Focus off the back of the timeout. Definitely not a great start. Bonamo just trying to hold control of B main over on the other half of the map, but he's gonna be waiting for the rest of his team to see if they can find anything elsewhere before the call is made to come back towards B. But that fault line that was sent just into A main may have been enough to just hold those players over on that right side of the map, but for now, the hit does look to be coming back towards the B site. Vizsla gonna be spotting out Mike. He's managed to find Ace off the back of his setup.
30 seconds left.
Rolling Thunder gonna be sent in, and Mike fully stunned up. A great time blind though. I don't know if that was, I think it might have been from Nas. Not too sure, but fortunately Mike will still fall, and Bonobo, he's the player on Focus that has been shooting so far. Already 2 in the round, 2v2 now to hold this post plant. The wingman gonna be sent out just to clear some of stairs. Hasn't quite spotted anyone, but he knows where the players likely are, and Bonobo,
One enemy remaining.
that's 3 kills now in this round, all down to a 1 versus 1 Exhaust. It's a very, very capable player, but Bonobo should know where he's coming from, but he can't convert, and so Exhaust will be bringing BOBO that little bit closer to tying up the score, and they're already doing much better. Well, I don't know about much better, but they are already doing better, showing a little bit more here on Sunset than they were able to do on Ascent. It was 13-2, an insanely dominant scoreline. So now for this is definitely gonna be for BOBO a chance to try and get back into things. This is of course a round where all the guns are online. For the side of Focus, they took that timeout early on, but it didn't work out in that round. It got very, very close, but fortunately just wasn't able to quite find the value they would have hoped for. But this time, Vizsla, he's managed to convert that first kill onto Exhaust, and now the hit is potentially going to be coming in towards that A site thick and fast. Doctor going to be leading the charge with Ace, no doubt. And Pork, he's already been spotted. He does manage to TP away. Well, good use of the Shrouded Step. But he has bought enough time for the rest of his team to rotate over, but it's left the B site completely open. There's no spy cam there to check as well, so Bonobo at this point is likely thinking this is an open site, or at least mostly so, and he'd be completely correct. It is completely empty and free for the taking. I'm going to clear that trip, and immediately they should have their choice of plant, choice of post-plant positioning, and they've left Vizsla behind mid to be that backstab. This is looking good for Focus. Numbers advantage, spike down. They just have to hold now if they want to extend this lead and avoid going down to what could be an eco. Not 100% sure what the money situation was looking like, but that's not a great way for things to start. Now the Thrash going to be sent out. That's not going to be spotting Doctor though, although it has made its way around, but it's also detained Mike. Oh, that's tragic. But Nos, he is still around and he is still fighting, able to convert that kill. Now the post plant, the spam battle begins. The spike has been diffused to half. Nos has managed to find 3, but can't quite find Vizsla. And so Focus, once again, it's a close round that at the end of the day comes down to a 1v1. It does get one for the side of Focus. Unlike the round previous, yeah, I do once again apologize for the current situation with the audio and visuals not being quite as up to scratch as they normally are. Gonna hold that thought for now, though, as it's a very early skirmish over towards mid. Exhaust now popping the showstopper. He's completely blind, doesn't know where to send it. And Focus, they are running. They don't want anything to do with this. And fair enough, Exhaust not going to be able to find any value off the back of it, but he did the talking earlier with his gun. It is BOBO who find themselves at a numbers advantage here at the moment. So, for BOBO, the rest of the team, where do you go? Vizsla has to find a little opening. Exhaust removed, and so they're going to be going back towards mid. But this is where all of BOBO are ready and waiting. Noz doing some damage. It's Pork to find 2 and Mike to get the finisher. As this round has gone excellently for BOBO, they bring us just back within distance of being tied. 1 round separating them. It looks like potentially we could be in for a little bit of a closer game. As I said, yeah, unfortunately the overlay is not updating as it should. Apologize, I should have hidden that. But yeah, hopefully we can get that back at some point. Most likely a little bit later on, though. We'll have to see.
Watch out! I'm out of here.
Now, Doctor and Ace.
Bomb buddy out.
Finding their way on towards the A site. Ace with the entry. Destroy that shock. Recon bolt, sorry. Muzz. He's ready. He's waiting. He's found BOBO. Just gonna recon for his team now. There is a lot of players coming from the flank, and I don't think Focus are quite ready for it. But Ace and Myth, they're finding a couple of kills here and there. They've actually managed to even the numbers. Doctor and Myth could potentially bring this round back. As Myth falls, it's all down to Doctor, and he's making the trip around. So low on HP, will go down to 1 bullet, and he knows he has to go. He knows it's that wingman. Ah, but he can't get it done. Noz takes him out. The bullet to the head, no less. The slide, not quite doing enough there. Noz was very, very ready for that. So now we have even the numbers. And another timeout now to come out from Focus. Using both their timeouts here in this first half. This definitely goes to show that things are a little bit more shaky here on Ascent than maybe they were anticipating. See what the adaptation is, if any. There's not long left in this half. That's for sure. This timeout does expire. It's round 11 now, where for Focus had a great start. 4 rounds in a row to open up the map, but things have kind of gotten a little bit out of control. Still a tied scoreline, so don't have to be too concerned yet, but certainly, especially following that that first map of Ascent, where they did so well. I'd be wondering what the change is. Focus very, very happy to play a slow game here. Spreading out across the map. Doctor doing a little bit of a fake towards the A site. Nothing too crazy at the moment. It's not really drawn many rotates over as well. Muzz has kind of revealed that this is all just a ruse. And he'd be completely right, but he still has to deal with Doctor in the back lines. He's aware of where he might be, and he's found the kill. really, really well read from BOBO, but they still have to make this a successful retake. Another Thrash going to be sent out from Nos. That'll get dealt with. But still tools available for Focus. You have the Rolling Thunder. That's going to be sent out first. Ace going to be looking to fight forward now. Has the Showstopper if he wants to use it. There's 2 players of BOBO still alive. And Ace, that's a greatly placed satchel and a great shot to finish things off. Focus. That's a little bit cleaner off the back of that timeout.
In the half. Last player standing.
So, yeah, I mean, that's all we needed to see from Focus. Round where they have taken things back into their hands. Making things just that little bit more competitive. So now, going to the last round of this half. I'm sure Focus would love to bring this up to a 7-5 scoreline, but we'll have to see if they can. So, Mike. Oh, I thought he might have dodged that, but no. BOBO knows exactly where he is, and now he's going to send out that neural theft. That's going to be the go button for this execute. As, yeah, Nos and Exos were very much caught out there over in market, and, yeah. It's going to be a tough one now for Pork and Muzz, but it's the last round and a half. You may as well go for it. That's a good start from Pork. Bring things into a little bit more of a doable situation. Well-placed paranoia as well, that now Muzz and Pork can try and get something done, but Muzz falls and it's all down to Pork. He would have had to get an ace to finish that one off. So it will be a 5-7 half for the side of Focus. So we swap sides, and, you know, credit to BOBO for making this a little bit closer. I mean, interestingly, looking at the kills, I mean, Focus, they've got, you know, they've got the majority of them, I would say. But, you know, if you're looking at the scoreboard at least, you'd think that potentially Focus might be a little bit further ahead than 2 rounds, but no, things have been incredibly close for the most part. You think of those rounds that came down to, you know, 1v1 scenarios. This could easily have been a 6-6 or maybe even a 7-5 in the favor of BOBO. So this pistol round, Focus going to start off grabbing some control in A main, getting that orb onto Ace. Just going to try and build towards that Showstopper as early on as possible. Very powerful ult to have. As for BOBO, he was the only one really holding towards the B site, but even then, not really holding as much as just looking for info. Oh, can't quite find those shots. The rest of the team of Focus, they can. Doctor and Ace, the duelist, have been doing so much, but they've been taken out. It's all down to Myth in a 1v2. Everyone's low. Everyone would go down to a single bullet. And Myth, he's managed to do it. The clutch for Focus to bring them another pistol round. That's all of the pistol rounds in the series that they have won so far. 4 out of 4.
Last player standing.
Myth able to convert a 1v3. Absolutely incredible work there.
Always got you over. Shadows traveling.
So now it's gonna be Focus once again on an anti-eco round. No less on a half where, at least on Ascent, they got themselves a 10-2 lead. Defense was absolutely incredible, and of course you can say, sure, it's Ascent where you know, things do traditionally tend to lean a bit defender-sided. But then you think about the fact that they were playing Neon and Reyna, and it's like, okay, maybe Focus are just good at defense. We'll have to see. It's Doctor looking to chase after some of those kills.
There.
Can't quite find any who's gonna fall back. It's Bobo. Not quite sure where to go just yet. Looks like they're gonna be leaning in towards the B site, heading in through market. This is where Bonobo and Ace are waiting. Bonobo finding for a flawless anti-eco round, and Bonobo really locking things down there, redeeming his whiffing, shall we say, on the pistol round. Giving the Bulldog a little bit of a better weapon, and he does an excellent job locking that space down. To be fair, they also just kind of ran into him, but
Down.
hey, still
Flawless.
great shots. Focus, they're going to be pulling ahead now.
Here.
Gonna be fighting in towards A main once again, and Mike, he's stuck and he's stunned up, but he still manages to find Doctor, but Bonobo has managed to chase him down, and well, sure, it's just the luck player, but still, you don't want to be losing that, as now the flank is wide open for Ace and Bonobo to go for, but Ace not quite ready for the players of Bobo to be so aware. They haven't even, oh sorry, they have planted the spike, but they all were aware that that flank was open, like I said, and they went and fought for it. So now for Focus here on their bonus round, left at a numbers deficit, and a very difficult retake ahead of them. Fault line gonna be sent out, but Myth immediately gets blinded by the dizzy. Bonobo finds a quick shot. Vizsla, he's just sticking onto the spike, and Myth and Bonobo, they hold the line. Oh, you can't let them stick like that, Bobo. That's a tough mistake to make, especially, I mean, let's talk about Bonobo. I mean, he's been hitting shots in this game.
This goes here.
Safe, like I said, that one pistol round was maybe a little bit of an exception, but him and Ace, 16 kills apiece. They cannot miss right now, and honestly,
Now, where?
got a feel for Bobo. They were in such a good position, but yeah, it is unfortunate. This round, Bobo, they don't have the best weaponry. They're just gonna sneak up towards mid as Doctor spots out a few, and of course he's gonna decide to slide in off the back of it, and he's managed to find Muzz. Even fully blind, he knew where to aim. So that's an opener. Spots a couple more, and this time he'll be dealt with. That's a wall that you can spam through, and Mike has managed to find Ace over in market. Now Vizsla, his position is known. Has to do the dance with Mike on the site, and Mike knows exactly where Vizsla is. He's now going to be surrounded. Does have a dark cover to play around. He's just going to be slipping around on site. He hasn't been found. He's managed to stay alive, doing an excellent job, as now Myth should be joining him. Will he decide to swing out of the smoke is another question. As Vizsla once again now having to fight on the site, and even though Myth eventually chooses to swing, it's Vizsla who's still the pain in the side of Bobo. Still alive, he's still waiting here, and now Bonobo's arrived. Suddenly this is looking doable. I mean, this is an eco round they're up against, but
One enemy
I mean, looks like they might just go ahead and get it done. Bonobo completely stunned, detained, as Noz tries to convert off the back of it. Brought down to low HP. Bonobo, he will get it done. Oh, but I think he might have brought enough time. Bonobo, I don't know if he's got this defuse. No, he doesn't. And so it will be an eco round. Half by will finally be where Bobo will put another round on the board. As that was certainly a an interesting round. Vizsla, he stayed alive on site so long, and sure, he was up against sheriffs for the most part, but like,
there.
to be able to evade really getting caught out by anyone, such a great job. Move on to round 17 now. BOBO try and replicate what they did in the last round, at least with the way this round is starting, just walking up, taking a lot of space over in mid. See if they decide to break that trip over at top mid. Looks like they might just do exactly that. It's going to draw out the fault line, but they will fall back off the back of it, and Doctor, eager as ever to swing, will be going straight into Nas. Mike finds one as well, as this mid control has actually rewarded BOBO with 2 1v1s that, yeah, they really can't do a lot. Try and bring this into a little bit of a closer game, potentially, but Exhaust has gone down to Myth. Still numbers in favor of BOBO, but they gotta start moving soon. Sure, you've got mid control, but you gotta start making your way towards a site at some point. You can see it looks like the decision is to come in towards the B site. This is where Vizsla was able to stay alive for so long. In that last round, we send out another dark cover. He's just gonna play in this smoke, wait for anyone to swing in, and he's found 3! Vizsla
Spike down.
absolutely putting a nail in the coffin.
10
Poor
seconds
BOBO.
left.
Pork still gonna have time to plant the spike and try and play out this 1v2. Smith's gonna swing around the corner. Will be the round going the way of Focus. They will find 11 now. Welcome to everyone coming in from K-Man's broadcast. Too sure what game you guys had, but hopefully it was a good one. As I mean, hey, let's have a look at that play from Vizsla. Knew exactly that there could be players coming into him, and he deals with it perfectly.
Spike down.
Careful there.
For everyone coming in, I do apologize for the stream quality at the moment. The overlay that we've been running did unfortunately decide to go down at the start of this game. So we are using the older one and just streaming the gameplay from my laptop to my PC, which is then going out to you guys. So it's maybe a little bit compressed, maybe not the greatest quality, but hey, at least we can still see what's going on. There's always a backup. And this is a game that is delivering, and that is worth watching so far. So now, for the side of BOBO, once again starting in towards mid, but this time they're just going to be walking completely into garage, into market, sorry, and Bonobo, I think he knows that there might be a couple of players there he doesn't want to deal with, so the Rolling Thunder will get sent out. Is he ready for Mike? Absolutely. Walk manages to get one, but gotta be careful. They've actually managed to find themselves another advantage here on an eco round. It always seems to be an eco at this point that BOBO are winning.
One
Of course,
enemy
the last
remaining.
one that they won was a big clutch. The timer coming down to the line.
I'm out of here.
Now Doctor with so much to do. That's a quick 2-piece sliding on in a third now delivered, but he can't quite get it done. Some flashy play from Doctor as what on earth were those shots? But don't let that take away from the fact that that is a round that has gone the way of BOBO, a thrifty no less. Let's have a look at that one again.
Oh, wait.
Something incredible from Doctor.
Thrifty.
A good try, but not quite enough. Anyways. Scoreline 7-11. BOBO, if they want a chance of taking the series out, and you gotta start putting those rounds up. Thrifty is a good place to start. Still a long road ahead. 4-round deficit to make up for, and once again starting with this mid control that, you know, has been paying off for them. Potentially looking to head over towards the A site now. Ace and, of course, Myth. They've been waiting here, waiting for anyone to come in towards A, and I believe they heard an owl drone. So they're just going to send out a bit of utility in response. Just to make sure that there's no one lurking around off the back of that, the noise being cut. And if they did choose to push a little bit deeper, they would find out that there is no one there. It was all just a ruse. The hit is going to be coming in towards the B
30
site
seconds
now.
left.
Hunter's Fury going to be sent out in Vizsla. How do you get out of this? Oh, good movement to do it. The Doctor now, he's got the overdrive. Just going to find the one eventually traded by Exhaust, who's sticking around here towards Market. Stunned up though. Just going to have to fall back as now he pops the showstopper. Will be another 1-for-1 Myth taken out by Muzz. As Vizsla, he was the one who started off on site, but now he's the last one remaining. A 1v3. It's a good first shot, but not quite ready for the second swing coming out from Nas. So Bobo, they will put another round on the board.
Sorry.
Hey, I mean, this
Inside
is getting a little closer now. Starting to see some shots being hit from the side of Bobo. That's something that's been kind of lacking. It was just Exhaust on Ascent. And, at least now, Mike, he's been around the region for quite a long time. Always been known as an extremely solid Sentinel player. And we're seeing that now. Although, with that being said, somehow he does have the most deaths. Not entirely sure how that happened, but, hey, he's still just topping the scoreboard for Bobo as far as the kills are concerned. So Bobo, they're doing a good job at trying to make this a little bit closer. Potentially take us to that last map of Pearl. Gotta get past Doctor. Pushed so far up here. Stinger not quite able to find anything, but a quick swap to the Classic will give Doctor the first blood, but eventually traded. As the rest of Focus are just gonna fall back towards this B site now, and for Bobo, rightfully so, I think, choosing to stay, not pump the gas pedal too hard just yet. They know that they're up against an eco and they don't want to do anything too crazy, and I think this little pause, this little time they've taken to recollect themselves has clearly rewarded them with an extra kill. A nice shock dart there coming out from Muzz. It's a good thing they didn't decide to go pressing on forward, as they would have been going into 4 sheriffs, I believe, on that site.
30 seconds left.
Just by waiting, they've managed to make things much, much easier for themselves. It's really only Myth who's anywhere near here. He's only got a sheriff. That's not going to be doing too much here. Unless he can find some crazy shots and get given some 1v1s. I doubt he'll be able to do much without his teammates by his side. With that being said, Bobo, he's bringing up the flank. Going to be chasing down Pork and any target he can find, but Muzz has managed to deal with him. Now,
Last player
Vizsla,
standing.
the only one remaining, not going to be able to find anything. Exhaust and Mike going to finish off the round as now Bobo, they're bringing this a little bit closer, round by round. If they keep this string going, we could be looking potential overtime, maybe even if they just take it the whole way. Could be an excellent story here on Sunset. This is, of course, the map pick of Focus, and they burnt both their timeouts at the start in the first half. Maybe they would be starting to regret that decision now. Could do with one potentially. So where do you go for Bobo? Back towards mid, of course, why not? It's where they've gone so many times before. They've found a decent amount of success ever since they have started slowing things down. For Focus, I mean, eventually got to start asking what's the overarching game plan at the moment, because it does kind of seem that they're just waiting for the side of Bobo to come into them, and they're just not quite able to get much done. Myth managing to find Pork out of places. That's your controller gone. Myth is now going to have to try and stay alive on side. Doctor has come to join him. Myth still able to find 3 before going down. 2 versus 2. for this retake, and
30 seconds left.
looks like both of the players of Focus are going to be coming from behind, and don't know if BOBO was completely aware of this. You can see none of them are really even considering it. Muzz is still looking at Defender spawn and eventually going to turn the corner. That could have been dangerous, but he's managed to find Vizsla, sending out that dark cover, and another great shot onto BOBO. Could have gone terribly wrong there, but Muzz picks the timing, picks it right, and gets rewarded with some kills. Have a look. Muzz managing to...
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, really convert that round nicely. It's a nice try to stay alive on the site there for Focus, but not quite good enough. So now, actually, a timeout can be called by Mike. These things have gotten just one round apart now. There's, you know, honestly, I do find it interesting that, a lot of the timeouts that we have seen, in fact, pretty much all of them except for this one, have been taken by the team that's in the lead at the time. Of course, you could kind of say the same for this one that BOBO is taking here, that, BOBO, you know, they're stringing some rounds together. And instead of, carrying on that momentum, maybe Mike has a grander plan. So we'll have to see where they go with this. Timeout going to expire. I mean, honestly, this is what we wanted to see from the side of BOBO. Seeing a little bit more of their potential come out. And again, it's worth mentioning as well. This is with Exerst, you know, not quite putting up the same numbers that he normally does. You know, normally Exerst is an absolutely insane duelist. But he's kind of been a little bit quieter. And so obviously there's definitely a chance for BOBO to suddenly have a resurgence, to bring this back and potentially even take us to Pearl. It would be lovely to see. Be very refreshing to see that sort of take place. As I mean, look at this. This is quite the trap play we have set up. BOBO is just going to be waiting for contact in main, and then Vizsla will send out that paranoia, and then Ace will be trying to shoot some people off the back of it, and it looks like if they just hold for a little while longer, it could pay off. Yeah. If they just stay where they are. Because BOBO, they are going directly into this. Can they make the lighter weaponry work? Though that camera should be taking contact any second now, as here is the showstopper, but Muzz is ahead of it. Oh, the trap play. I think BOBO might have gone off of his cam for just a second, and in that time, it just wasn't quite good enough. Because now the site will be falling. BOBO maybe could take the timing to try and swing out, but Muzz knows exactly where he is, and like I said, this is just an eco round, so you're not expected to win this, but at the same time, it was a lovely idea for the trap play, just didn't quite come to fruition, and it will be Muzz finishing off the round with 4, absolutely decimating Focuses. This is what we wanted to see, something a little bit closer, a little bit more competitive. This is what I wanted to see when I heard that I was casting these teams, is that, you know, these are names that we're so familiar with, that we know are good players. It was just a bit disappointing to see on Ascent, BOBO fall so flat. 13-2 was the scoreline, and well, this is a little bit more of what we wanted to see. BOBO really coming back into this.
Scanning ahead.
Doctor. Another player that we haven't really been talking too much about this game is, really feels like a lot of the Focus players have sort of cooled off, and I do wonder a little bit if their defense here on Sunset has been a little bit too passive. They haven't really had many rounds where they've, you know, invested a lot of utility into trying to fight for much. They haven't really, I mean, they fought for mid once, I think. I can't remember exactly what happened in that round. I think I was trying to sort out some of the overlay things, so I wasn't paying too much attention, but yeah, I mean, I feel like they could potentially benefit from fighting a little bit more. You have 2 duelists, so you've got to get control somehow. Because right now, BOBO, they're just kind of free to walk around. and really claim space for free by just contacting on up, as the only information gathering that Focus really have is the cipher, and then just checking things with their body, as Vilsa did just there, who has, you know, at this point got the information that the hit from Bobo is coming in
30
towards
seconds
the A
left.
site, and you can see the entire team of Focus has arrived. Bobo potentially having taken a little bit too long, as now the retake, it's beginning. Doctor going to be the first to slide on in. Bobo claim another kill as
Enemy
Muzz
remaining.
and Exhaust now the only ones remaining. Exhaust with so much to do. 1v2,
10
knows where
seconds
both
left.
players are, but there's not much time left, and Myth, he will shut down any hopes of taking this
Match
all the
point.
way to 12. And so for Bobo, the whole comeback, the whole string of rounds, the timeout, all the pressure has led up to this one round. You take it to overtime, or you go out in 2 maps. And I really do want to I really do want to see it go the whole distance. I'm definitely
Right there.
rooting for Bobo here to try and make this a little bit closer, to try and really show what they're capable of.
I'm out of here.
This round, Focus sends out Doctor into mid. Eventually gonna fall back as once again Focus, they've got the read, they have arrived, and well, for the side of Bobo, this maybe this decision to just hit the B site could be one that they could potentially regret. Unless, of course, they can hold this post plant. They're going to send out the Thrash. Mike able to convert the kill off the back of it, but he's kind of stuck here on the side. He knows that there's a detained player, but that's expired now. He knows where everyone is, but he can't find the kills. So now it's all down to Noz and Pork. That defuse is beginning. Pork manages to stop it. Vizsla removed from the round down to a 2v2, and I don't think half came through. Noz able to find another one. It's all down to this Myth versus Noz. That spike has been ticking though. Noz knows that Myth is not on the spike, but Myth, I think he's got enough time, maybe. It's hard to say. Are we going to overtime? We're not. Focus.
Defenders
Oh, it's heartbreaking for Bobo, but they've managed to do it. Focus. They have claimed the series 2-0. And I mean, things got damn close there on Sunset. It was really a few milliseconds separating them. But hey, it's Focus, the team that we know was going to be really, really strong heading into this. But yeah, I think for Bobo, it was a nice try to come back into things. They definitely showed that they are capable of going toe-to-toe with a team like Focus. And like I said, I think these are teams that, you know, we're familiar with in the Oceanic scene. We know that they're both teams with names that, you know, are players that are very, very capable. But it just didn't quite come to fruition for Bobo here. At least they did show that they could make things close. And yeah, Muzz had an excellent performance there, but at the end of the day, it was Focus who ended up bringing things across the line. And so we will be ending there. That was the series. This has been day 2 of challenges. And yeah, I mean, 2-0 to Focus. I don't believe anyone's qualifying yet. However, Focus tomorrow will have a chance to actually qualify into the playoffs. So if they win their game tomorrow, we will be seeing Focus in just a couple weeks' time when the playoffs begin. And for Bobo, you're definitely not down and out yet. You're going to be going into another game tomorrow. It's not an elimination game for them. They will have I believe it's a 2-game buffer. So I think it's if you lose 3 matches, you're out. And if you win 3 matches, you're in. So Bobo, they will be able to have another go at things, and you know, even if they lose the game tomorrow, they'll still be all right. They'll still have another chance. So both these teams still will be around, and of course, worth mentioning that, of course, the challenges stage 3 group stage will be going on for the next couple of days, all the way up till the 5th of November, which I believe is next week Wednesday, which means that we will be coming right back tomorrow at 6:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Time. So if you want to see the next games happening, I'm not too sure which one will be taken. I think we're still waiting for a few results to come in from the other series. But no matter what it is, all the games that we have seen thus far have been absolutely incredible. So I am looking forward to it. Until then, thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you all tomorrow. Good night. We're going to be slowly creeping out. Dasani here should be making first contact as the wall drops. Snaps onto Regen and another beautiful shot. Catching onto Cats. The third one on the round. Two players, both of these are low. Both would fall to one bullet as Water takes them down. 2 body shots, 2 kills. They choose to contact into him. This could be dangerous, but Doctor's looking the wrong way. Finally turns at just the right moment, takes down August. Now sliding out through the screens with the stinger. The run and gun action, like I said. Look to the side, Shinobu's been taken down, overwhelmed by the utility from Zupa. Downtail though, 2 wonderful shots and a third. Taken down, massive effort on the site by Downtail. Opting to go for the information with the Owl Drone instead, but Dasani, 2 crisp shots from the flank. Will convert the round for Zoogang, and it will be 6-6 at the half. Immediately popping the run back, and they're going straight through. And Water should see this. The first found, a second, the spray transfer, peeking around the corner and finding a third. Water finding a ton of value off of the ultimate. Jin's been waiting here, extremely patient, now starting to move, and the timing is bad for him, as Yuji does manage to take him down, peeking forward with the util in hand. You go for a little bit more. This is still a 2v4, so not favored, but actually just ahead of the team. And now the showstopper for Dasani is going to be chasing them back. Won't connect, but now a 2v3. This is a more winnable situation than a 2v5. Also doesn't change that that's where it came from. Rossi over the top, Dasani plucks him out of the sky. Now position known. The grab net comes out, but it connects onto herself. Oh no. A little bit of a whiff from Dynasty, and it's 1v2, but they connect! How on earth have they done that? The spray transfer! Snappy with it, Dynasty wins the 1v2. Absolutely insane stuff after the absolute whiffing of that deadlock utility. Should hear the player rotating in from mid, and that should be a free kill. Rossi the first to fall. And now Yuji peeking forward, finds a second off the stun and a third. Really well played from Yuji. You just creeped all the way forward, heard the players. And they were just completely unaware. Second shot. The third, extremely clean. Brutal crossfire to get there. Spada bang. I think he was spotted. The knife might come out. 75 damage, but he comes back in. No way. Sure he's hungry for that ace. Haven't seen any just yet today, but I mean, he's peeking out. He gets 4, and he gets the ace. Dasani. Wary that there could be someone close. The Nightfall's going to be invested, as well as potentially this lockdown. Doesn't connect on 20, but they didn't realize that Dasani was in the corner. He takes down 3. Dasani is taking his team over the line. Your winners for today will be XG.